Welcome to the Explainer. All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going on a journey, but this isn't about just getting from point A to point B. It's about a complete transformation. We're going to follow the incredible pilgrim's path to Sabarimala, which is, believe it or not, one of the biggest annual spiritual gatherings on the entire planet. Get this. Every single year, somewhere between 10 and 15 million people make this incredibly tough journey. We're talking about a trip to a remote hilltop shrine deep inside a tiger reserve in Kerala, India. And you gotta understand, this is so much more than just a trip. It's like the finish line of a grueling spiritual marathon. So you're probably wondering, what exactly is this journey of extreme austerity? What's it all about? Well, it's a path that's literally built on ancient legends, forged in serious discipline, and it all ends with an act of complete surrender. So stick with me, because we're going to walk that path together to really get the story, the intense rituals, and what it all truly means. Okay, so to really get a grip on this pilgrimage, we've got to start with the deity at the center of it all. See, the whole journey, every single step, is designed around the one-of-a-kind origin story and character of LordAyyappa. The story kicks off with this really wild celestial event. There was this demoness, Mahishi, who had a special power that made her totally invincible. Well, almost. The only thing that could defeat her was a child born from two male gods. So, to solve this problem, two of Hinduism's most powerful gods joined forces. You have Lord Vishnu, the preserver, who transformed into this enchanting female form named Mohini. And from the union of Mohini and Lord Shiva, the destroyer, a divine child was born. And this child, who they called Hariharaputra, was the solution everyone was hoping for. The name itself is a dead giveaway. It literally means son of Hari and Hara, Vishnu and Shiva. He was born with a very clear mission: take down the seemingly unstoppable Mahishi and bring balance back to the universe. No pressure, right? So, the story goes that this divine kid was left by the Pampa River, where the King of Pandalam found him and raised him as his own son, a prince named Manikandan. But you know how these stories go, there's always a twist. A palace conspiracy cooked up by a jealous minister is what really kicks his destiny into high gear. The queen pretends to have this crazy illness that can only be cured by, get this, the milk of a lactating tigress. A 12-year-old Manikandan says, I'll do it. He heads into the forest, not only fulfills his destiny by defeating Mahishi, but then he rides back into town on a tigress with a whole pack of them trailing behind. I mean, talk about making an entrance. After revealing who he really was, he chose the spot for his temple and then ascended to the heavens. Okay, let's move on. The actual physical trek to Sabarimala? Yeah, it's tough, no doubt. But that's just the final lap. The real journey, the heart of the pilgrimage, actually starts over a month before you even take the first step. It's this intense period of spiritual prep that completely reshapes a person's life. This is a 41-day vow called the Vratam, and let me be clear, this isn't optional. It's an absolute must. The thinking behind this is pretty fascinating. It's based on the idea that it takes about 41 days for your body and your mind to really truly internalize a new way of life. It's a total system for changing yourself from the inside out. And when you look at the rules, I mean, wow. The discipline here is just on another level. We're talking about a complete detachment from all worldly comforts and ego. The black or blue clothes, that's about shedding materialism. Walking barefoot is to connect you with the earth. The celibacy, the simple food, it's all designed to purify your body and mind and focus every ounce of your energy on the divine. This next part is where the symbolism gets really powerful. The most important thing a pilgrim carries is this sacred bundle called the Ayyappa, and inside it, there's a coconut filled with ghee. But it's how they prepare it that's a perfect metaphor for the whole journey. See, the coconut represents your body. Draining the water out symbolizes emptying yourself of all your worldly desires and your ego. Then, refilling it with pure ghee, well, that's like filling that clean vessel with a purified soul all ready to connect with the divine. It's beautiful. All right, so after those 41 days of intense preparation, the devotee is finally ready for the physical part of the journey. And this next phase starts at the base camp of Pampa. But you know what? Just getting to the base camp is a journey in itself. So you've got people coming from all over the world, and they all head to central Kerala. If you're taking a train, you'll probably get off at Chenganore or Kottayam, but you've still got about a 90-kilometer trip from there. Flying in, the closest airports are in Cochin or Thiruvananthapuram. From there, you're looking at a 3 to 4 hour bus or taxi ride to get to the Pampa River, which is where the real trek begins. The first thing you do when you get to the base camp, you take a dip in the sacred Pampa River. It's this physical act of cleansing that perfectly mirrors the spiritual cleansing of the last 41 days. It's like you're washing away the outside world, getting ready for that final, focused climb. And this brings up something that's absolutely central to the whole experience: harmony. On this path, all the things that usually divide people, caste, social status, wealth, they're all supposed to just melt away. Everybody calls each other Swami or Ayyappa. It's a beautiful way of seeing the divine in every single person you meet on the trail. And this idea of harmony, it's not just talk, it's put into practice in a really unique way. You see, a lot of pilgrims will actually stop at a mosque on their way. It's dedicated to Babar Swami, who, the story says, was a Muslim pirate who became one of Lord Ayyappa's closest friends. This incredible act of interfaith respect is just baked right into the pilgrimage itself. Okay, so from Pampa, the final push begins. And it is a push. We're talking a steep 6-kilometer climb right through the thick mountainous forest of the Periyar Tiger Reserve. It's a real test of endurance, usually taking 3 to 4 hours. And for anyone who can't make the walk, there's a service called a dolly, which is a type of palanquin, to help them get there. So after this incredibly long journey for both the body and the soul, the pilgrim finally makes it. They arrive at the Sananidanam, which is the main temple complex. It's built up on this plateau about 40 feet high, and right there, they come face to face with a final gateway. And as they get closer, you hear this chant just echoing everywhere. Swamiye Saranam Ayyappa. It means, "O Lord Ayyappa, I seek refuge in you." And you can just imagine the sound getting louder and louder as people finally see what they've been waiting for: the Patanetampari, the 18 sacred steps that lead right up to the inner sanctum. Now, you have to understand these aren't just any old steps. Think of them more like a spiritual ladder. Each and every step represents something you have to leave behind: a worldly attachment, a human flaw. You're literally climbing over your 5 senses, your negative emotions like anger and greed, the basic qualities of nature, and finally, even the ideas of knowledge and ignorance, all before you can reach the divine. And that's why this next rule is so important. These 18 steps, they're not for tourists or casual visitors. No way. They are reserved only for those who've done the 41-day vow and are carrying that sacred Iramudi Ketu. It's a tradition that really protects the holiness of that final approach. You have to earn the right to climb them. And then, at the very top, inside the most sacred part of the temple, the whole journey comes to its climax with a ritual called Nayabhishekam. Remember that coconut filled with ghee? The ghee, representing the purified soul, is poured over the idol of Lord Ayyappa. It is the ultimate moment of surrender, the individual soul merging with the universal divine. Afterwards, the empty coconut shell gets tossed into a sacred fire, which symbolizes the physical body being consumed, now that the soul is one with God. Powerful stuff. But you know, Sabarimala isn't some ancient relic that's just frozen in time. Not at all. It's a living, breathing tradition that sits right at this fascinating and sometimes very contentious crossroads of ancient faith and modern-day conversations. And one of the biggest examples of this is the really complex debate over women's entry. So traditionally, women between the ages of 10 and 50 were restricted from entering. This is based on the core belief that Lord Ayyappa is an eternal celibate. But in 2018, the Supreme Court of India overturned that ban, pointing to constitutional rights for everyone to worship. That decision, as you can imagine, kicked off massive protests and is still under legal review. It's an issue that continues to be a huge point of social and religious debate today. So when you look at the whole picture, the journey to Sabarimala is so much more than just a trip to a temple, right? It's this incredibly detailed spiritual system. It's a 41-day blueprint for shedding your ego and replacing it with pure devotion. And it kind of leaves you with a big question to chew on. In our modern world, which is all about speed and convenience, what place is there for ancient, difficult, and life-changing paths to faith like this?